Hello, everyone, and good morning. Today, as you can see on the screen, I'll be discussing the FIFA case study, but to go more in depth, I'll be discussing the FIFA scandal and its implication on international strategy, which focuses on the issues of corruption and its impact on global sponsorships. FIFA is the Federation Internationale, sorry if I butchered that, the Football Association. It is the international governing body for soccer, and it's played a pivotal role for promoting what the sport is today globally. However, the organization in FIFA has been plagued by numerous corruption scandals, which has significant implications for its sponsors and stakeholders. So, without further ado, let's begin. Before we get into more depth about FIFA and its scandals, I want to provide a brief overview of what FIFA is. So, FIFA was founded on May 21st, 1904 in Paris, France, and its initial goal was promoting soccer worldwide to its other member countries. And in the beginning, FIFA was comprised of seven European nations, being Belgium, Denmark, France, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. And over time, the organization expanded to include nations from South America, Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, which reflected on the global popularity of soccer. And FIFA is best known for perhaps the biggest sporting event globally, which I'm sure you guys all have heard of, the World Cup, which that tradition, began in 1930. The World Cup has since become the most prestigious soccer tournament globally, and under the leadership of Howell Havelange, again, apologies if I butcher any of the names, but he became the president in 1974, and FIFA transformed into a major commercial entity. And Havelange expanded the World Cup to include teams outside Europe and South America, increasing the tournament's global appeal and revenue. Um, However, Haviland's tenure was also marked by the allegations of corruption with accusations that amassed millions in bribes. Uh, Shortly after, in 1998, so about 20 years, Sepp Blatter succeeded him in presidency of FIFA, and it was the same thing. He was also dealing with numerous scandals. So, the political risk in the FIFA scandal. As we learned in chapter 6, I believe, of our textbook, political risk refers to the uncertainty and potential financial loss that companies face due to political instability or changes in a country. So, how does that relate to FIFA? The FIFA scandal highlights the concept of political risk. Um, with its context, the political risk arises from legal and reputational consequences associated with the corruption within FIFA. So, for example, Nike, they face scrutiny from United States authorities for its involvement in the scandal through intermediaries like Traffic Brazil. These intermediaries were implicated in bribery and kickbacks to secure sponsorship deals. And such associations could lead to legal investigations and substantial fines for companies, impacting their financial stability and operations. Moreover, the reputational damage from being associated with a corrupt organization like FIFA can be severe. Consumers may lose trust in the brand, which could lead to a decline in sales and long-term brand loyalty. This highlights the importance for companies to conduct due diligence and implement robust compliance programs to mitigate such risk. By ensuring transparency and ethical practices in their operations and partnerships, companies can protect themselves from adverse effects of political risk. So, while that all may be bad, there are many benefits for sponsoring FIFA. So, sponsoring FIFA events offers many benefits for companies, but particularly those looking to enhance their global presence and brand recognition. Firstly, the global exposure is unparalleled. As I mentioned, FIFA and especially the World Cup attracts billions of viewers worldwide and is the most watched event globally. For instance, the 2010 World Cup was watched by an estimated 1 billion people globally, And this massive audience provides sponsors with extensive visibility and the opportunity to promote their brands to a diverse international audience. Secondly, sponsorship helps companies penetrate international markets effectively. By associating with a globally recognized event, companies, for example, such as Adidas and Coca-Cola, strengthen their presence in various regions and drive sales growth, highlighting the direct impact of sponsorship of revenue. So, sorry. Yeah. And additionally, sponsorship of prestigious events like the World Cup enhances a company brand image and credibility. Being associated with FIFA major events sponsors a positive reputation that can build the trust of customers. And this is crucial for long-term loyalty and customer engagement. So all in all, the benefits of sponsoring FIFA include increased global exposure, market penetration, sales growth, and an enhanced brand image. And while sponsorships are good for FIFA, I want to discuss the international strategy of FIFA sponsors. So, major sponsors of FIFA, such as I mentioned before, will use Adidas and Coca-Cola again as an example. Excuse me. They primarily utilize a global strategy in their sponsorship endeavors. A global strategy involves standardizing market efforts and product offerings across different markets to maintain a consistent brand presence worldwide. So, by adopting a global strategy, companies can achieve economies of scale, reducing marketing and production costs. And this approach allows them to produce standardized products and marketing campaigns that can be easily replicated in various regions, leading to cost efficiencies. So, for example, Nike leverages its FIFA sponsorships to promote its brand consistently across all markets, reinforcing its global presence and brand recognition. Coca-Cola follows a similar strategy by implementing a unified marketing approach to FIFA events. And by capitalizing on FIFA's extensive audience, brands such as Coca-Cola, they ensure a uniform brand message and experience for consumers worldwide. This helps the company maintain a strong and consistent brand loyalty. So the advantages of global strategy include brand consistency, but cost efficiency, and the ability to leverage FIFA's worldwide reach to reinforce brand recognition. By standardizing the marketing efforts, sponsors can effectively reach a global audience and maximize the impact of their sponsorship investments. So on this slide, we have the awareness and responsibilities in FIFA sponsorships. So we have the risk of indirect involvement. You have intermediaries, excuse me. The use of intermediaries, such as sports marketing agencies, can obscure corrupt practices and due diligence. It is crucial for sponsors to conduct due diligence to identify and mitigate these risks. Examples, the Nike and Traffic Brazil incident, as I mentioned, the case highlights how the intermediaries can engage in corruption, implicating sponsors indirectly. That was covered in the chapter. So that's a brief result of what happened with that. And the responsibility of sponsors. You have the ethical standards. Sponsors should adhere to high ethical standards and ensure their partners do the same. And monitoring and auditing. Regular audits and monitoring of intermediaries and partners to prevent corruption going forward. And these are strategies to handle corrupt practices in FIFA sponsorships. So by implementing compliance programs through training and education, regular training for employees on anti-corruption laws and ethical practice would be a good way to deter that and prevent that stuff from happening in the future, and even whistleblower policies by establishing clear policies for reporting unethical behavior within the organization. Secondly, you have conducting through due diligence. You have the vet partners, comprehensive background checks on all potential partners and intermediaries involved with FIFA. So you're not getting in with a suspicious or just a bad reputation. And I had mentioned regular audits already. Promoting transparency, you have open contracts, ensuring that all contracts and transactions related to FIFA sponsorships are transparent and documented. So you want to have all that stuff, all that proof ready, and you just want to be clear in the negotiation. And third-party verification, utilizing third-party agencies to verify compliance with anti-corruption policies. So, in conclusion, I just want to give a brief summary of the key points discussed in my presentation. FIFA's global influence, FIFA's extensive reach, and the popularity of soccer make it a very powerful organization, but also also an organization, excuse me, that is susceptible and yes, susceptible to corruption and the impact of corruption. The FIFA scandal highlighted the significant risk for sponsors, including legal consequences and reputational damage. So I came up with some recommendations for FIFA and sponsors going forward. The recommendations is to implement stronger governance, so enhancing internal controls and transparency to prevent future corruption, promote ethical practices, establish clear ethical guidelines and enforce compliance across all levels of the organization, and engage stakeholders. Work closely with sponsor, governments, and other stakeholders to maintain integrity and trust. And my recommendations for the sponsors: conduct due diligence, ensure rigorous vetting of all partners and intermediaries to avoid involvement in corrupt practices, establish robust compliance programs, implement, implement comprehensive compliance programs, and regularly audit to enforce ethical standards. And lastly, advocate for transparency, actively support and advocate for transparency and ethical behavior with FIFA and other sponsored contracts and deals. So, class discussion questions. One, what measures can FIFA implement to prevent future corruption scandals and ensure transparency in its operations? And question number two, what are the long-term impacts of corruption scandals on international organizations like FIFA and their sponsors? And with that being said, thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you guys have a good one.